Miriam Picó. Welcome to my picnic at the Opera House. How are you doing today? Good, thank you. We are coming to you live from the lobby of the beautiful Opera House in downtown Traverse City, Michigan. Today's show will be benefiting the Women's Resource Center with Executive Director Joe Bullis. And we will be hanging out with my friends David Chown on the piano. Woo-hoo! And we'll be joined by our poet, Michael Delp. Give it up for him. Also, my lovely co-host, Miss Courtney Fountain-Hanley. By the way, did you know she was once the National Cherry Queen? Give it up for her. Woo-hoo! Hi! Thanks. Welcome.
It's our first show. I'm so excited. So, what do you have going on for us today?
Well, we will be enjoying the musical stylings of Blake Elliott and E minor and the lyrical genius of our corner poet, Michael Delp.
Awesome, that sounds great. And don't forget to join me later when I hang out with a wonderful local artist, Charlie Murphy, where he'll introduce us to some of his artwork and tell us a bit about what he's working on now. All right. Take it away.
Thank you. We're going to have some fun, so grab your lunch and relax as we have a wonderful show of music, poetry, and art for you. This song I'm going to do is called It Is What It Is. I thought it was appropriate for our first show. We're just trying this thing out and see what happens, but it's going pretty well so far, right? Can everybody hear this?
Times are rough for everyone, don't think you're the only one. Quit your bitch and pick your chin up, face the day. Cause whining gets nothing, and worry gets nowhere. And no one's got the answers for you anyway. The only thing to say is this: it is what it is. No matter what you're going through, someone's got it worse than you. So throw your pity party and then dry your eyes. Cause whining gets nothing, and worry gets nowhere. And if you change your attitude, you change your life. The only thing to say is this: it is what it is. Oh, it is what it is. Don't try to fight it. Sometimes there's no hidden signs. It is what it is. It might make sense someday, but it might not, and that'll have to be alright. This time will pass, it won't last, you'll be fine. All of this will be a memory in time. So put away your horoscope, don't look to your friends, your pope, your therapist, your parents, or your holy book. Your heart isn't in there, and even though they care, all of them will send you down a different road. Sometimes the only answer is, it is what it is. Oh, it is what it is. Don't try to fight it. Sometimes there's no hidden signs. It is what it is. It might make sense someday, but it might not, and that'll have to be alright. This time will pass, this won't last, you'll be fine. All of this will be a memory in time. Es verdad que algunas veces la vida es muy difícil, pero el sol no deja de brillar, mi amor. No lloriques y no te preocupes, que nadie te puede decir qué hay que hacer. La única respuesta es lo que es. Oh, it is what it is. Don't try to fight it. Sometimes there's no hidden signs. It is what it is. It might make sense someday, but it might not, and that'll have to be alright. This time will pass, this won't last, you'll be fine. All of this will be a memory in time. You'll find there's real strength in this, when you can throw your hands up and admit that you don't have all the answers. Sometimes it just is what it is. Ooh, yeah, yeah.
Thank you. Thank you much. So in love? This song is called So in Love.
Ba-da-da-dum, ba-da-da-dum. Fell in love with a boy last night. He kissed my lips and he held me tight. I never knew it could feel so right. Now I never wanna be out of his sight. So in love, so in love, so in love. Ooh, 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 yeah. We barely knew each other's names, but I loved him just the same. And with that smile, oh, who could blame me? In his arms, I let him tame me. So in love, so in love, so in love. Oh, I fell so deeply. I never believed I had it in me. Oh, you wouldn't believe it, the way that he told me his every dream. He gave me a lesson in how to see beauty in everything. He opened my eyes, brought me to life, gave me the will to live. All the while we were strolling, I knew that my soul and my heart were bound to his. Oh, so in love, 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 so in love. I'm so in love. David Chown, everybody, come on. Woo! Oh, ba-da-da-dum, ba-da-da-dum, ba-da-bum, ba-da. So in love. Thank you.
David. All right, thank you. We have two special guests for you today, Blake Elliott and E. Minor. Come on up. Woo-hoo! Welcome. How are you? Welcome. Hi. How many of you have had the pleasure of already hearing these two ladies? They are two fabulous, beautiful, talented singer-songwriters from the Traverse City area. Not originally, right? Where are you from originally?
I'm originally from the Ann Arbor, Ypsi area.
Okay, and you?
I'm from Sheboygan and Mackinac City area.
All right, but now they call Traverse City home, and you guys get to hear them. Where do you play most often?
Oh, geez. We play every Monday at Left Foot Charlie for open mic. That's from 6 to 9.
Yep, we play at Brew a lot on the Sundays there, and you can find us, find me with the Accidentals quite often.
Nice.
And we'll be doing the Indoor Folk Festival this year as well in February. So
I'll be there too with you. Awesome. Well, these ladies, they're going to do 2 songs. They're individual acts as well, but you can see them together quite often. The first song is going to be done by E minor, and it's a beautiful song. She played it for me the other day. It's called Parachute. You're in for a real treat. Everybody, E minor, put your hands together.
Thank you. Sometimes I feel just like a child, waiting for you to catch me in my parachute. My heart wants what it can't see, but when it gets there, just wanna be free, but that's just me. I don't have a clue. How about you? I'll make it on my own. You'll see, you'll see. I'll learn to pay the toll. You'll see, you'll see, oh, you'll see. I don't really feel like looking for you anymore. I do not think that I could be the girl that you'll adore. That's okay, I don't wanna mold for you, fool, for you, fool. Sometimes this road will lead us to a place that we didn't wanna go, but that road will lead us to another road and another road. And I don't really think I'm ever gonna know where I'm going, know what I'm doing here. But I won't fear you, won't fall through your parachute. I'll make it on my own. You'll see, you'll see. I'll learn to pay the toll. You'll see, you'll see, oh, you'll see. Sometimes I go outside and I become afraid of what I see, but it's just me. I don't have a clue. How about you? Sometimes I feel just like a child, waiting for you to catch me in my parachute. Sometimes I feel just like a child, waiting for you to catch me in my parachute. Thank you very much.
thank you.
Next, we're going to have Miss Blake Elliott play a song for us. Her and I do a lot of shows together. A lot of times when you see us, you'll see both of our names on the poster because we just love to sing together so much. So, this is her song called You Don't Feel the Same About Me.
Well, Thank you guys very much for having us on here today. This is one of my favorite songs to sing, one of my favorite songs to sing with Elizabeth in particular, and I hope you guys enjoy it. You don't feel the same about me, and it breaks my little heart a bit seeing that I poured a whole lot of my time into figuring how to make you mine, but I guess I was really just wrong. And even though I wrote you the song, it's been getting me nowhere all along, 'cause you don't feel the same about me. I don't pretend to know all about these things, though I've been around long enough. I've been schooled on some, and I know that this is a familiar scene, 'cause I'm playing the part of the fool again, because you don't feel the same about me, and it breaks my little heart a bit seeing that I poured a whole lot of my time into figuring how to make you mine, but I guess I was really just wrong. And even though I wrote you the song, it's been getting me nowhere all along, 'cause you don't feel the same about me. Tell the truth, I think that we could just be friends, but the kind with a little bit more they share, probably erring on that side they shouldn't, and I still think that it could all be okay in the end. Now you stop for a moment and say it could, but then you change your mind. You say that it wouldn't, 'cause you don't feel the same about me, and it breaks my little heart a bit seeing that I poured a whole lot of my time into figuring how to make you mine, but I guess I was really just wrong. And even though I wrote you the song, it's been getting me nowhere all along, 'cause you don't feel the same about me. I always raise these questions when there's lots of wine. Now I'm sure you're wondering why. Well, it's 'cause I don't get it. See, I'm still wondering just what you were thinking when you leaned over and you kissed me that time. Now you say you take it back and that you regretted it. Must have been all the stuff we were drinking, 'cause you don't feel the same about me, and it breaks my little heart a bit seeing that I poured a whole lot of my time into figuring out how to make you mine, but I guess I was really just wrong. And even though I wrote you the song, well, it's been getting me nowhere all along, 'cause you don't feel the same about me. You don't feel the same about me. You don't feel the same about me. Thank you very much.
Good job, ladies. Oh no! We're missing a scratcher. Is it back there? Yay! Yeah, Steve, quick. Just sing. Blake, you want to tell us what song we're doing?
We're going to do a song by a band called Portishead. This is a song called Glory Box. And yeah, we were just inspired to sing this song with Miss Miriam up here. So we're going to go ahead and give this a go. So tired of playing with this bow and arrow. I wanna give my heart away, leave it to the other girls to play. But I've been a temptress too long. Just give me a reason to love you. Just give me a reason to be a woman. I wanna be a woman. From this time unchained, we're all looking at a different picture through this new frame of mind. 1,000 flowers could bloom, so move over and give us some room. Just give me a reason to love you. Just give me a reason to be a woman. I wanna be a woman.
So don't you stop being a man. Take a little look from outside if you can. Show me a little tenderness. Even if you cry. Oh, even if you cry. Just give me a reason to love you. Just give me a reason to be a woman. I just wanna be a woman.
But this is the beginning of forever and ever. Just give me a reason to love you. Just give me a reason to be a woman. I wanna be a woman. I wanna be a woman. I wanna be a woman.
All right, give it up for these two.
Thank you.
Thank you, ladies. Awesome. Thank you so much. Nice job. All right, they'll be joining us later on in the show. That was so much fun, even if my guitar strap came off. Oh, well, whatever. You just roll with it. So, what do we have next? Let's see. We're going on a short break, but don't go anywhere. We will be right back. Thank you so much. Michael Delp. He's a renowned writer, poet, and author of such books as his recent works, As If We Were Prey. He's also received many awards for his teaching creative writing at the Interlochen School of Arts. Let's give it up for Michael Delp. Come on. Where is he? There he is.
Great, really great to see all of you here. Thanks for coming. Before I start, I want to remind you that this is a benefit for the Women's Resource Center. And one fact that I'd like you to carry out of here, a $5 donation will pay for food for 1 day for somebody at the Resource Center. And $10 will run their hotline for 24 hours. That's maybe $5 is the cost of a latte. So remember that, please. That's what these baskets are for. So I'm up late many years ago. I'm writing, and I hear this pound on the door. It's 1 pound. So I get up, open the door, and there's this enormous presence that greets me. And it says, you're done writing for the day, for the night. I'm going to take over. So I wasn't about to argue. And I sat down, and 2 hours later, I end up with what's in front of me, which turns into a bunch of poems called the Dead Man poems. And the Dead Man is a North American trickster figure. He can be killed, but he can't die. He can change shapes. He can be a man. He can be either gender or both at the same time. He's very, very dangerous. He's also very loving. He's very kind. He's a complete contradiction, and he just doesn't care. I'm not sure he's a great guest for a picnic, but at least you would know that he was there. So I brought a couple Dead Man poems for you to read today. The first one is called Dead Man Meets John Wayne. He shows up in my head, and he has to knock off a character as a gunfighter up there, and of course it's John Wayne, the most egotistical gunfighter of the 50s. So this is called Dead Man Meets John Wayne. So you get it. He's to be trusted, but he's not to be trusted with anything. And he's brilliant, and he's also a total fool. So there's no way to pin him down, which is kind of nice. Dead Man Meets John Wayne. First, Dead Man tells him his boots suck, that he's a wimp and can't ride. Then Dead Man gets nasty. Dead Man walks up to him, grabs his chest hair, breathes a little smoke into his face, tells him his ghost has been running the neighborhood like a mad dog and has bitten small children. And then Dead Man stares down into John Wayne's face and turns his eyes into the barrels of 22s and says, "The next time you see these eyes, they'll split you up. Let some air out of your chest. And the 2 holes coming out of your back, that'll be my brand." But then he has his nice side. He has a daughter, he has a really lovely daughter. I may marry the Dead Man gets married poem next week. This is Dead Man's daughter. In his hands, her waist moves like a snake through tall grass. He sees a half moon rising in each of her eyes, feels the way she tries to pull the little pools of death water out of the pockets of sorrow in his cheekbones. Dead Man wants to reach down into the bucket in his stomach, give his daughter something small and cool, perhaps a stone to hold in her fingers, hoping she might see some strange markings on its surface, perhaps the directions to bring him back to life. And the last poem, how many of you came from a meeting or are going to a meeting after this? Anybody? I taught for 40 years at Interlochen, and I was in 50 years of meetings. Here's the poem, Meeting Dead Man. They make a mistake, they make him chairman, and Dead Man uses the rules of order like miniature whips, beats down each question, flogs the vice chairman into submission. At each meeting, this is funny. At each meeting, he says, we will have another meeting, which in turn will have a meeting of its own. We will meet constantly. All day, all night, Dead Man meets. He believes to begin everything in life should be run by meetings. To have a baby, you must have a meeting. There are death meetings and sleep meetings, meetings for divorces and meetings for appendectomies. Dead Man becomes the Billy Graham of meetings. He writes a meeting Bible and gets a meeting network, which asks for money all the time. He asks for money to have meetings and then sets up meetings to have meetings about meeting for money. Finally, he can find no one left to meet with who is not already in a meeting, so he watches videos of meetings, runs them slow, runs them fast forward, watches himself gavel off heads like golf balls, turns the phrase killer meetings into the gospel. Thanks for coming. I'll see you next week.
Thank you, Michael. Woo-hoo! Give it up. All right. He's so awesome, isn't he? I never had heard of him before, and I just heard of him because of this show, and now he's like my new favorite person. So thank you, Michael Delp, again. Come on. All right, ladies and gentlemen, from the Women's Resource Center, I'd like to welcome Executive Director Joe Bullis. Put your hands together. All right. How are you?
Good. How are you? Good. Welcome.
So Joe, why don't you tell us a little bit, I know a lot of people are familiar with the Women's Resource Center, but will you tell, for those who don't know, a little bit about the organization and its mission?
The Women's Resource Center's mission is to end domestic and sexual violence. It's been providing services in the Grand Traverse region this is our 37th year. We help victims of domestic and sexual violence and their children by providing everything from emergency housing to longer term housing, one-on-one and group counseling, a lot of advocacy with court systems and with other people in the community to help them get the kinds of resources they need to be successful as they move on in their lives. And we have a wonderful thrift shop that many of you may know about that also provides our clients with free clothing when they sometimes come to our door with virtually nothing but what they're wearing, and also with household goods and other things so when they're starting their new lives, if they need to move into apartments or other places to live.
That's wonderful. And how did you get involved?
That would be a story that's probably way longer than I have time to talk. But I started at the Women's Resource Center actually as a volunteer in 1989. And I've done everything from working with some of our offenders groups to working in our emergency shelter to being the program director to now being the executive director. So.
Well, thank you for what you do. Do you have a story that maybe wraps up the whole Women's Resource Center experience, like the best experience that you've had in your years there so far? One that really stands out.
I think we have those kinds of stories every year. When I was trying to think of one story that I could think of, I couldn't pick on one particular person. But I think the things that have really made me proudest over the years is our ability to really help expand the kinds of services that we provide so that people can be more successful. When I started, it was 30-day shelter stays, which wasn't long enough for anybody to really have time to change their lives.
How long is it now?
Now it's kind of pretty much however long they need to be there.
Oh, nice.
But the only way we were able to do that is by expanding the kinds of services. So we've developed longer-term housing so people can move into that if they have specific needs. We work with many wonderful organizations in the community, like the Zonta Club, that's provided nearly $200,000 worth of scholarships so that our clients can go on to work, to get training and the kinds of the education that they'll need to be successful and to be independent later on. And so I think for me, it's more of a community kind of thing that I'm most impressed with in this area is that we're able to take people who are coming to us at the point that they are and then really work with them to find the resources they need to move on from that point.
Well, thank you so much for what you do. Everybody, let's give a big round of applause for Joe Bullis. Thank you.
I would just like to thank all of you for doing this. This is a wonderful event.
Oh, thank you so much. And she brought a video for us today. It's a little 3-minute video about the Women's Resource Center. So here in the studio audience, please turn your attention over there.
This is a song I wrote called One Day at a Time. I thought it was appropriate for Women's Resource Center. Anybody who needs to hear this song out there, this one's for you. I'm rough around the edges, and tonight I cannot sleep. You know all my confessions, and you still make time for me, and that's fine. We take it one day at a time. Oh, I don't love you for the little money that you have. We'll spend our lives together, and you know that can't be bad. It's all fine. We take it one day at a time. I'll stand by you, you'll stand by me too. Wherever this road may lead, a little faith, a little love is all we're gonna need. Oh, dreams will come and go and people turn their backs away, but love will be the one thing that is always gonna stay, and that's fine. We take it one day at a time, yeah, yeah. I'll stand by you, you'll stand by me too. Wherever this road may lead, a little faith, a little love is all we're gonna need. You won't get anywhere moving so fast. Slow down, babe, or you'll wind up last. You got the rhythm and you've got the rhyme, so hold up and take your life one day at a time. I'll stand by you, you stand by me too. Wherever this road may lead, a little faith, little love is all we're gonna need. One day at a time, one day at a time, one day at a time, one day at a time. All right. Thank you very much. And now let's bring back, thank you. Now let's bring back my lovely co-host, Miss Courtney Hanley. Take it away.
Great job, Miriam. Awesome, David. Thanks, you guys. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I'd like you to help me introduce the wonderfully talented artist, Charlie Murphy. Thanks for joining me. Please have a seat. All right, so first I'd like a little introduction. I'd like you to tell us a little bit about you and how you got started, your interesting background in your sort of disparate past with your unique jobs that you've done in the past.
Well, everybody always starts with, where are you from? Well, I've lived in Traverse City and the Traverse City area longer than I've lived anywhere, so I'm from Traverse City. I first located myself in Elk Rapids, Michigan, and opened an art gallery there, believe it or not. And today there are 3 at least healthy galleries in Elk Rapids, Michigan, and hopefully more in the near future. I entertain myself most often with the same things that most people in northern Michigan do. I love to kayak, I love to hike, and of course I love to paint outdoors.
Can you tell me a little bit about some of the other interesting jobs that you perhaps have held that have helped shape the artist and the person that you are today?
Well, as you're probably all well aware, an artist rarely makes a living from his painting, but I decided that I would cut across the grain when it came to that. I held a number of jobs, of course, until that point at which painting would pay the rent. Some of them very widely disparate. In other words, what does being a pipe fitter on the natural gas pipeline in the middle of Kansas have to do with being a custom perfume blender at Filene's department store on Cape Cod?
You tell me. So all of those interesting things have helped make the artist that we all know and love, Charlie Murphy. So I know that there's a few people that have been really influential in your art and what you've been doing over the past many years that you've been creating things. And one of those special people I know is your grandfather. Tell me a little bit about why he was so important to you.
Well, from a very early age, he taught me that drawing was something that you could enjoy immensely and lose yourself in it and create entirely new worlds. And this was at a very early age, and he always emphasized that you should draw everything, not a single thing, but everything. And that really opened my eyes to the fact that, you know how they say you should become a stylized or a very focused artist and depict things a very specific way. And I always thought along the lines of what the financial analysts would say, maintain a diversified portfolio. And who else totes a portfolio around but an artist? And so one of those things that has certainly caused me some problems in the past is working with a dealer who says, I want more of these, and you're already moved on to other things. So that diversity has always been, you know, how they say variety is the spice of life.
Yeah.
Well, diversity in what I approach in painting has really kept me engaged with it.
Wonderful advice from your grandfather. I know somebody else that was really important to you was an illustrator who many of us might be familiar with. His name is Robert McCloskey, and his art style has been important to you. In what way?
Well, the thing that struck me, one of my very first exposures to Robert McCloskey, I always love to ask people when they're adults if they can recall the first children's book that they ever read. And if not, at least some of the books that they recall. And one of them that I first remember after getting my first library card was Robert McCloskey's Blueberries for Sale. And another one people would recognize is Make Way for Ducklings. And it's funny because as an adult you think back on those very formative childhood stories. And the thing about Robert McCloskey was that not only did he write the stories, but he illustrated his books himself, which I thought was pretty phenomenal. And the graphic nature of his work certainly planted a seed in me early on. I don't think I set out ever to be an illustrator, but in recent years it sort of happened.
Well, it's a wonderful accident that's happened. So since this is a lunchtime show and we're at this picnic, I thought that it'd be interesting to ask how you feed your muse. Do you listen to music, or what do you do in your studio to help make your creations?
Well, music is a big part of it. One of the things that strikes me also, when I talk to other artists about painting in the studio, they will say that music with lyrics sometimes is not the best to work to because it plants images in your head that may not work with what you think you're intending to do for the day. So instrumental music, some of my favorites are, there's a series of arias by a British musician, composer, arranger Paul Schwartz, and it's aria 1, aria 2, aria 3. And even though it's like people who listen to opera and says, well, it's okay because I don't understand the language they're singing in. And when I hear Paul Schwartz's music, he has a very, very eclectic set of issues that come together in his music, and he does have guest vocalists. One of them, people might know the name Rebecca Luker.
Okay.
And it's wonderful music to listen to and conceive of imagery while you're listening to that music. Another one would be Pat Metheny Group, which is primarily instrumental guitar music. I find enormously inspirational. When it comes to a musician that I would listen to in the studio that did involve lyrics, I think Van Morrison is a person that a lot of people can relate to. And in his lyrics, there are a lot of wonderful, suggestive combinations of words that will bring images to mind. For instance, one that comes to mind right away is a song he called From a Foreign Window. Well, from a foreign window, I did a piece called From a Northern Window. And it's just a matter of personal perspective. People seek and find lots of different messages in vocal music that has specific lyrics, and not the least of which is the song title, which has often helped me put together an image.
Thanks, great. Something else that I thought might be a little bit interesting to talk about today is what you were like as a youngster. The little Charlie Murphy, how did the little younger Charlie Murphy help shape who we see today?
You know, nobody ever asked me that. What was life,
keeping you on your toes.
What was life like as a kid? And I think of all the things that I most enjoyed doing. We lived in the last house on the edge of town, and so we were close to nature, very much so. And we had a river flowing by, and in the wintertime it would freeze over completely, and my parents didn't think anything of it in letting us go and ice skate on the river forever. Mm-hmm. We'd ice skate for miles down and come back as long as we were back in time for dinner or whatever it was that was pressing at the time. That fires up an image already. Joni Mitchell had a wonderful song lyric, said, "I wish I had a river I could skate away on." Well, you know, that really brought the image back home to me. As a kid also, I loved to build tree houses. I can't tell you, you know, a lot of kids would take their allowance money and go buy candy. I'd go buy nails at the hardware store. And we scavenged all kinds of things from the neighbors' wood piles and garages. And I can't tell you how many tree houses I involved myself in. And a tree house, once again, is a bit of an escape, a place to go to where you can sort of act out all your pirate fantasies.
The creative adventurer, Charlie. All right, so I think we should go take a look at some of the work that you brought. Okay. Introduce us to a few of the pieces. All right. And just be sure that you watch your step as we navigate the wires.
Want to look at this one first?
Yeah, that sounds great.
Okay.
I'll let you introduce.
There was a fellow named Mario Cooper who was the president of the American Watercolor Society, and he said there are three types of artists: the reporter, a commentator, and the creator. And I often think that people prematurely decide to be one or the other before exploring the other avenues. And I like to think of an artist that's diversified being able to occupy each and every one of those positions based on what his motivation is for the day. So a piece like this, the title of it is called Letters from Oz, and it has to do with a personal encounter with a tornado.
You have to elaborate a little bit on that one.
Imagine Dorothy after landing in Oz thinking, well, how am I going to communicate with those people I left behind? Mm-hmm. So on two levels, first of all, the O and the Z obviously are letters from the word Oz. Sure. But secondly, I imagined what might happen after you had to spend a great deal of time in Oz, what your communications would sound like when read later on down the road, not knowing whether or not you'd return to the place from which you came. Sure. And in that particular encounter, we were sent home early from work because of pending weather that was rather terrible. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, I had to drive in the direction that the tornado was coming from. So I thought maybe I could drive a little faster and get there before the tornado came down. And it has a happy ending, obviously, because I'm still here. But unfortunately, the fellow behind me said, the last thing I remembered was the taillights of your car.
Oh, gosh.
And he did survive the tornado. But I remember at one point, the dark in this particular painting stands for that black hole that when I opened the door and looked up, and the black hole was right above me.
Wow.
And then, of course, everybody's familiar with The Wizard of Oz, which we saw first in black and white. Mm-hmm. And so the color scheme has to do with the colorizing of The Wizard of Oz. Wonderful. After the fact. And, of course, this is a abstracted piece that is a sculptural relief oil painting. In other words, if you looked at it up close, you'd see that all these surfaces are built up with laminated
it's beautiful.
Objects.
And over here, great story. Yes, watch your step again.
Over here, Robin. This is a more realistic depiction of some Fishtown shanties. And just about everybody up here in northern Michigan has had some sort of encounter with Fishtown as a destination. And so this was painted a while back, but Fishtown in itself represents a place that reminded me, or reminds me, that that's why I'm here, because of the aesthetic beauty that is present. And of course,
we're so thankful you are. Real quick, what are you working on right now, Charlie?
Okay. People might know this book, Chickadees at Night, mm-hmm. which in fact sold its 1,000th copy last week at Horizon.
That's great news. Awesome. Congratulations.
And mind you, that is 1,000 copies just here at Horizon
That's
Books.
great.
So we are working on the sequel.
All right,
now.
awesome. And if for any of you out there in TV land that would like to learn a little bit more about Charlie and his work, please feel free to visit his website, artistsnorth.com/Murphy. So let me thank you one more time, Charlie. Everyone, let's give him a big round of applause. Thank you so much. All right, Miriam, come on out. We got one more song for us.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have time for one more song. So we planned a little something with Blake and Elizabeth. Let's invite them back out. Blake and E minor. All right. David, you ready? Ooh, ukulele song. Get to grab my favorite little uke. And this is also a sing-along. So is everybody warmed up? Have you eaten your food and drank enough water and warmed up? We need some voices on this one. All right, we ready?
Hit the road, Jack. Don't you come back no more, no more, no more, no more. Hit the road, Jack. Don't you come back no more.
Come on, ladies.
What you say? Hit the road, Jack.
Yeah.
Don't you come back no more, no more, no more, no more. Hit the road, Jack. Don't you come back no more. Oh baby, you treat me so mean. The meanest man that I have ever seen. Well, I guess if I say so, you're gonna have to pack your things and go. That's right, hit the road, Jack.
Come on.
Don't you come back no more, no more, no more, no more. Hit the road, Jack. Don't you come back no more. What you say? Hit the road, Jack. Don't you come back no more, no more, no more, no more. Hit the road, Jack. Don't you come back no more.
All right, come on, Blake.
Now, baby, you treat me this way. You say you'll be back on your feet someday. I don't care if you do, cause it's understood. You ain't got no money and you ain't no good. So I guess if you say so, you have to pack your things and go. That's right, hit the road, Jack. And don't you come back no more, no more, no more, no more. Hit the road, Jack. And don't you come back no more.
What you say?
Hit the road, Jack. And don't you come back no more, no more, no more, no more. Hit the road, Jack. And don't you come back no more.
Guys, say good afternoon to David Chown.
Oh baby, you treat me so mean. Meanest man that I ever seen. I guess if you say so, I'll have to pack your things and go.
That's right, hit the road, Jack.
Come on.
Don't you come back no more, no more, no more, no more. Hit the road, Jack. Don't you come back no more. Don't you say, hit the road, Jack. Don't you come back no more, no more, no more, no more. Hit the road, Jack. Don't you come back no more. Don't you come back no more. Don't you come back no more. Don't you come back no more.
Give it up for Blake, Elliott, and E minor.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you guys so much. You're awesome. All right. Does that conclude? We got 1 minute. All right, we're going to thank everybody now. I need to say a big thank you. I didn't expect so many of you to come out. Thank you so much. Apparently, I heard we had to turn people away. So thank you very, very much. Give yourselves a round of applause. And that was our show today. I hope you all enjoyed your lunch. And thank you for having it here today with us. I'd also like to thank Jo Bullis from the Women's Resource Center. Let's give it up for her. That whole organization. Jo Bullis, are you back there? Come on out. Let's just round up everybody. Come on out, Jo. I'd like to thank Blake Elliott and E minor. Come on out. Michael Delp. Woo! Charlie Murphy. Woo-hoo! Let's all take a Courtney bow. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Come on. Woo! And my lovely co-host, Miss Courtney Hanley.
Hit the road. Don't you come back no more, no more.
I'd like to thank our sponsors, the Up North Media Center, the City Opera House, the Northern Express Weekly, WTCM, News Talk Radio, Raven's Child, On the Rocks, Northwestern Michigan College, and today's underwriter, Cedar Run Eye Center. And I'd like to thank you all one more time for making this possible. Thank you, and thank you, Mike Sullivan, and everyone involved, Joe Vandermeulen. Everybody's been wonderful. Thank you so much. Don't forget to join us next week. We have Billy Strings. I'm so excited. Billy Strings is coming on the show with Don Julin. Please watch. And we're benefiting the Fresh Food Partnership. And Glen Wolff will be the featured artist. So that's really it now. Have a wonderful day. Thank you so much. Have a good day.
Don't you come back.